Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the STG Guard. It's a Tier 8 Soviet premium medium tank. It's located on the south spawn of Clip and it's under the command of Quiet Revolution. And it's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of that 122mm gun.
Let's go.
Game on. Well, what's so special about the Guard? Well, basically, it was a design started in 1949, but it was cancelled at the design stage, so it never went ahead. Basically, it's a 122mm gun mounted in a turret at the back of the tank with the engine compartment up front, and everyone else is, well, at the back. So it's got tremendous, it's very low, but the engine blocks any shells that are coming at the crew, so the crew are more likely to be preserved. Now that 122mm is capable of 390 alpha, and it's got a reasonably good reload speed as well, and it's managed to get up onto the lower part of the donut. Okay, let's see who we can spot. Okay, KV-1S, first shell doesn't hit. Oh, and the enemy Arty, well, it's a GW Panther and an M44, and they managed to get a shell near him to stun him. The standard reload for this tank is 12.46 seconds, which is actually quite long, but you can see here that Quiet Revolution's actually got it down to 10.18. SU-101. Oh, just missed. And you get 35 rounds of ammunition, so he does need to be careful that he doesn't waste too many shells. But he's not having much luck at the moment, but he will get better, I'm sure. Okay, trying to get the right spot. That time he did make contact. He got a high roll for 404, but he did get spotted. I don't think he has to worry too much about the KV-1S. He's dialing in for a long range shot, and although it looked as if it was going straight and true, just diverted at the last moment and he didn't get the shot on target. The Cheetu round the corner. We'll have him. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah, it's one of these tanks where it can actually sometimes act like it's going forward with the turret at the front and the engine at the back, but either way, it's very powerful, especially side scraping. Of course, the enemy. Oh, ouch! Yeah, that's pretty final. And that was actually a T-78 taking out our TS-54, so it was one of the snipers in the nest. So we need to be careful we don't get exposed to those snipers. Okay, SU-101. No, he just didn't have the angle that satisfied him, because if he had shot, there was a fairly good chance the shell would bounce off. So he decided against shooting. Oh, he can get that one. Yeah. And that's his second kill of the game. Oh, now we bounced around from the T-29, and it was the 105mm round. Okay, well, he's ammo racked the 101, so that's his third kill. Ow. And would you believe it, it's the GW again. We know where he is, he's down the corner, and now we know where the M44 is as well. The M44 is over on the other side of the cap. Now he's trying to work out where he puts the shell, but I think actually the GW is actually hiding just over the other side of the rock, so he's lobbing the shells up over the top. KV2 takes the engine bay, gets a low roll, but only just. Okay, BK2801-105, the premium light tank. Oh, he got the cupola. Well, he's out the game for good, and that's his 4th kill. He's racking up the damage. He's got 66% of all the kills on his team so far. I wouldn't be surprised if that GW tries to get a few more shots in, but it seems it's only when he gets spotted that he does get those shells coming in his way. Okay, that KV2 pops up, and thank you very much. And he didn't get spotted there because the bush was working in his favour. Unfortunately, we've lost another 2 tanks on our team, and so we're going to go the other side now. You can see where that round impacted from the GW, because there's a big hole in the back. Well, he got a high roll from the 252, the Defender. Well, in fact, actually, it's a plain clothes Defender, isn't it? The 252U. That's what I've got as well. And he got a kill shot there. And that's a high roll for 399. So that's his 5th kill of the game. And, oh, what's that? A Hellcat over by our sniper's nest, but he's at the lower end of it. The enemy's being pushed back on this corner, but we don't want to expose ourselves to that T-78 because he was on the sniper's nest. Okay, here comes the Leo. Well, he pumps one into the Leo, makes him a one-shot. Just reloading. Can he get the shell in time? He's going to have to face 2 at the same time, including a guard, but he'll take him out. That's 1. And he got the hit, but the guard's going to take at least 2 shots to take him out. Possibly 3. As 1. Okay, so that he's got his top gun when he took out the Leo. If he can get this one, it's 7 kills. Okay, very poor gun depression. Yeah, but he gets the guard anyway. And that's his 7th kill. He did take 1 hit, though. A low roll for 379. Let's see who's next. Well, our Arty seems to be working because he just put a round into the T29. But he got rid of the stun fairly quickly. But he's headed our way. And he has got that 105 as far as I can tell. So he is going to be a nuisance. We managed to back round that corner very nicely. Can we get a kill? Well, it's not a one. He's not a one-shot. So he pumps 1 in, but tracks the guy at the same time. He put the round directly through the drive wheel. So he's stuck here for the moment. He is a one-shot. He is a one-shot. Okay, so we can take him out. Thank you very much. And that is a Radley Walters. He did take a round for 288, which was expensive. He's now down to 171 hit points, and oh no, he's got another one. And it's the KV2, and he takes him out as well with 1 shot without taking any return. And that T-78, the last time we saw him, well, he was in the sniper's nest. Now he's trying to get at our Arty, who are actually over in the corner. And he's up there on the edge. Now, he must realise we're here. And he is vulnerable to us because he's got no armour. And the T-78, well, he would suffer severe damage. In fact, he ought to be loading the HE because the HE rounds on this beauty are capable of doing, if I can get the screen to come up, 530 alpha. There he is. And he gets 1 round in for 351 from a standard round. Drops below to give him cover. T-78 still coming on. Good night, 78. Yep, you're out. And that's his Falls medal. And now there's only the Hellcat who's actually in our cap area or near it. And he's killed 1 Arty, the Lorraine 15550. But there's only 3 left on his team. Now, if we can get up in time, we'll keep our Arty alive. Well, he's playing with his mouse wheel. Obviously, that's why he's doing the innie-outie, and I'll have to take control of the camera because he's doing that. We've just lost the M44. Good night, Mr. Hellcat. Oh! He hit the tracks! Would you believe it? And now he's gone behind the bush, which means he's got camo against us. And we fired it in, and we got the kill. He didn't fix his tracks. Obviously, he must have used his first aid, or his repair kit, and he fixed it, but it was just too late for him to get out of the way. That's why he disappeared, because of the camo of that bush. But now we're coming for the M44 and the GW. The M44 is next to the cap area. I checked on that shell direction right early on in the game, and he was definitely up there. And the GW, well, he's down on the west side of the map, in the at the back in the corridor. Just keeping his eyes open at the moment. The view range on this tank is 370 meters, so he'll definitely spot them before they spot him. And I wouldn't expected the GW to try and make a run for the enemy cap. I'd expect him to get ready to shot them because he knows that he's only got 171 hit points, and he must realize that. Then he realizes he can win the game with a decent shotgun, but we're trying to get into a position where we can drop down on top of the M44. Can't see him. Doesn't appear to be there. Oh, he's just spotted the GW off in the distance. Now, can we get him? Yes, we can. Good shot. Well, he's taken care of one of them. Now all he's got to do is take care of the M44. He gets to the bottom without taking any damage. So he must be feeling pretty happy for himself, but he's not going to cap, even though he's got plenty of time to do that. The M44 obviously relocated, and I'm not so sure he'll be in this western corridor. He was the other side of the cap earlier, but he has moved. And if he's smart, he will actually be running around the outside of the cliff edge at the moment. Basically waiting for Quiet Revolution to get him the cap, and then he'll start lobbing shells in to get his defender and to upset the cap long enough that he can frustrate and get a draw. He might even be able to get a win, actually. Again, that's the thing, is if they could ambush him, or if they could have ambushed him, I should say both of them, then they could have actually ended up with a win. I suppose technically speaking, they would have had to have worked together, because if they'd both been in the same spot, it would have taken him 10 seconds to reload after killing one of them, but the other one would have then taken him apart with just one aimed round, which hit him directly, and that would have been the end of the game. So yes, he's doing what I'm anticipating, that the M44 is hiding along the cliff edge, not actually over the edge, but in one of the dips where he can come back if he wants to. And so he can still lay shells down on the enemy if he starts capping. Okay. Now, I haven't seen these replays. You know that's my standard. I won't watch the replays. The only reason I will watch the replay first is if there was a massive cock-up with the process of actually making the video, and I had to do it all over again. And that's happened more than a few times. But most of the time, I'm seeing these videos for the first time, at the same time as you are. And so I'm anticipating what the enemy Arty is going to be trying to do to try and keep away from this guard. He doesn't want to get hit, but he wants to try and make it a draw, not a win. And possibly take a victory. He could be hiding in a bush. Well, if our sixth sense goes off, we know he's seen us. And he knows we're coming. He could ambush us from a bush and take us out. There he is! And he's actually just going over the edge of the cliff, and now he's headed for our cap. Which, probably not the best idea, actually. I think he felt that it was the onus was on him to start capping. But no, it's not, actually. Your onus is to start ambushing if you get the chance. Now, where is he? He's down there. Okay. This is very good for the... oh, the M44 fluffed it. He did track us. But that's the kill that wins the game. Nice try, Mr. M44. Nice try. But that is the victory. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was an ace tanker game for Quiet Revolution in the Guard. He managed to get a demolition expert because he blew up one of the enemy tanks. That was the GW Panther, who's caught him just as he drove by. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points for his own vehicle. A duelist for taking down two tanks who damaged him. Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 13. And he got a Hand of Gods for surviving the battle and received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks or more. He also picked up a Pools medal for killing at least 10 enemy tanks. In fact, he got 13 in the end. He got a Pascucci's medal for killing both enemy SPGs, the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. His win rate from that one was 21,553, which is super unicum and a lot more. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, we can see the highest damage in the game was 6,398 hit points of damage. The second highest was the T29 on the enemy team with 2,258, followed by the Hellcat on the enemy team, who got 2,108 hit points of damage, and he picked up a tank sniper for getting the most damage at a distance 300 meters or more. When it came to kills, we can see the high scorer again was Quiet Revolution with 13. 3 kills went to the T78 on the enemy team, 2 kills went to the Hellcat, the Object 252U, the KV2, and the GW Panther. And when it came to base XP, he's just 4 experience points below 2,000. He got 1,996, very, very close indeed. Second highest scorer was the Crocodile, who managed 614. That's less than 1/3 the amount he managed to get. And in third place was the T78 on the enemy team, who managed 608. Now, that guy almost managed to fox him by abandoning the position he was on the cliff edge, which, of course, the Arty could see, and he doubled back around the donut to try and attack Quiet Revolution from the rear, not realizing that he'd actually already turned around and was headed back in the other direction. And, of course, then he got caught. That 122mm round would tear straight through a T78, as it did tear through the Hellcat. It was just a bad shot that actually hit the track. But that Hellcat, if he fixed his tracks immediately, he could have moved into cover. He'd already gone unspotted simply because he was behind the bushes. But the fact is that if he fixed his tracks, I'm pretty certain he would have been able to get out of the way of the guard, and then he would have been able to snipe back at the guy, especially as he was wandering around trying to work out where the Arty was. So that moment where he took out the enemy Hellcat, who didn't move and probably didn't have his toolkit working, his repair kit, probably couldn't get back into the game, and that's why he won there, because those 2 tanks could have taken him down. Well, so could have the T29 for that matter, but they didn't. Now, the Arty, that was a different matter. Both Arty could have won the game if they'd managed to ambush the guard, and they could have done that because he only had 171 hit points left. And both of them, well, the GW had a 15cm howitzer, the M44 had a 155mm howitzer, and even with the 500 Alpha on the M44 and the GW's 600 Alpha, they would have been able to take him down with one clean ambush, one quick shot, very, very well aimed, and that guy would have gone out the game. So let's have a look at detail. 29 shots fired, so he still had 6 rounds left at the end of the game, 35 round total. 23 direct hits on the enemy, 22 towards the start of the game. He was having difficulty trying to get the shells connect with the enemy, but after a while he was then getting connections just about every time. 6,398 hit points of damage, of which 2,838 were at more than 300 meters. He received 6 hits from the enemy, 3 of which penetrated, 2 non-penetrations, and 4 hits by way of splash. The ones from splash were actually coming from the GW Panther, who was actually having quite a good time, but obviously he didn't follow up. Either that or he couldn't see where the guard was when he was sitting on the donut. But enemy tanks were coming towards him towards the end, one by one, the T29 and then the KV2 afterwards. If only they'd all come at the same time, I think he would have been overwhelmed and he wouldn't have been able to survive. 640 hit points of damage blocked by armor. Yes, I think that was 2 105mm rounds. 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 13 enemy vehicles damaged, 13 killed, and he got 125 hit points of damage assistance. On a free player count, he actually made 26,532 credits profit, and he also took away 4,125 experience points, including a whopping great bonus of free XP for 1,750. So what a great game that was. It just goes to show that somebody who uses the Guard, which is a bit of a specialist tank, can actually win battles, and big ones at that. The Guard is a bond tank. You can actually buy it in the gift shop for bonds, and it is a tier 8, and yes, you might think, oh, well, that's quite expensive to get, but it's very much worth it. It is only a medium tank, but it does have great capabilities, and you can create artificial gun depression, even though this tank doesn't have much gun depression all of its own. It actually only has 6 degrees over the front of the vehicle, but you can create artificial gun depression, as you saw in this battle, by poking over the side of the vehicle instead, or going on a slope to actually increase your your gun depression. But what a great battle by Quiet Revolution. There was every chance that he would lose this battle if the other people knew what they were doing. And it was a good example as well as what to do if you're in a lone SPG up against somebody like this. The answer is to ambush them from a bush and catch them that way. Or if they go into the cap and they'd sit there, then obviously you just need to find out where they are and then start lobbing shells at them. But if you can get into a position where you can see them, and he could do that from the donut area, looking through the bushes, just to see where the guard is, he'd know that he'd been spotted, but then you could slot an accurate shot straight onto him and finish him off and win the game. So there you go, the guard. Well done to Quiet Revolution. I hope you enjoyed the replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.